Students and staff at a South Carolina elementary school are mourning a teacher who died of coronavirus just a week into the school year. Demetria Bannister passed away 3 days after being diagnosed. The 28-year-old taught at Windsor Elementary, that's in Columbia, for 5 years.
She was just amazing. One of the hardest things is just to talk about Demi in past tense. As teachers at Windsor, I can tell you that we're still in shock.
Colleagues say she was so passionate about music and worked with the school choir as well as the student club for aspiring singers. She wrote a song about the importance of not missing class to the tune of Old Town Road.
I'm on my way to Windsor, 'cause I can't get up tired no more. I got my books all in my bag, my homework is attached, pencils matted yellow.
The school called Bannister a dedicated teacher whose legacy lives on through the kids that she taught. No.
When Shreya Patel launched her petition to lower tuition fees at Rutgers University in July, the New Jersey University had just announced that most of its fall classes would be conducted online.
It just doesn't make sense to be paying such a high amount for something that's not being, used to the full advantage.
Nearly 31,000 signatures later, she's created a movement for other frustrated students like Jenny Subramanian.
So I think the biggest thing is a lack of transparency. We don't know where this money is going.
The pressure from nearly half of the student body ultimately led the school to cut campus fees for the semester by 15%. Not enough, says Jenny.
Tuition reduction would be great, but so fees are what we are paying for, and if we're not going to be here, then what's the point?
Experts like Scott Galloway, himself a university professor, believe students are right to be outraged.
The universities have backed themselves into a corner, and that is we have raised tuition on average 2.5-fold over the last 20 years.
More than 75% of the country's 5,000 colleges and universities are expected to be partially or fully online this fall, and some are joining Rutgers in discounting fees. Williams College is dropping tuition by 15%. Johns Hopkins, Princeton, Georgetown, Spelman, and Clark Atlanta University are cutting tuition by 10%, while other schools such as USC offered their students living at home grants for those choosing to study from home.
Interestingly enough, some students will be in residence halls at the campus, but their courses will be online.
But the majority of schools, from state schools like Temple University and the University of Massachusetts system to elite private schools like Harvard and Stanford, are keeping tuition as is.
Are you surprised that we haven't seen more offer even a small tuition reduction?
I think universities have handled this about as well as they could possibly have handled it. Universities have to balance their budgets.
Terry Hartle, an advocate for higher education, says ever since COVID-19, universities have lost millions.
Every institution of higher education in the country has suffered losses. Room and board, the international students, the hotel, bookstore, all of those have just largely disappeared.
Experts also say higher education institutions are better equipped for online learning than K-12 schools, which could help drive down tuition costs.
It is time to lower costs and move education back to what it used to be.
But millions of college students like Shreya still feel deprived of campus life and depleted in their bank account.
I don't think the financial well-being of a billion-dollar institution should be compared to the students who are severely struggling.